Okay. So in this danger, so our motive is to, you the know the why explain why networks and data are attacked. That means first attacking is just gathering the information and use that information for their own purpose. We call them as you are the threat attackers or impactors. So let us see them, one by one. What are those? So in war stories, what happened in the war stories? If you see that the attackers are the hijackers in this war story. So you might have heard about the Sarah stopped by her favorite coffee shop to grab the afternoon lunch or some breakfast or something, and she just placed her order and paid the amount. I mean the clerk, and waiting for the while the breakfast or the lunch that they worked favorite to the fulfill the backup of the orders. So during that time, Sarah or some Alice or Bob, if anybody gives order, they'll just wait for their food. So meanwhile, what happens? The Sarah pulled her phone in that coffee shop and opened the wireless client. That means your Wi-Fi connection, and you find that if any Wi-Fi connection is free, as a guest, we try to connect that one. If it is not secure, as guest or anything, we try to connect that one. And when we connected that, see, assume that the coffee shop providing with the free Wi-Fi connection, so mobile is connected with that Wi-Fi. So, however, sitting in that corner and trying to browse something. So, if anything else is browsing, it's fine. But if she is trying to browse her bank account, suppose, or trying to browse as said social security number information and everything, so that information automatically hijacked by the coffee shop, the person. But here the thing is, as Sarah or Alice and Bob or the David or Rashma, anyone can come and say, if I'm the hacker, I'll try to open my mobile and make the hotspot, which is freely available to everyone. If they connect, so the data always transfer to bank through my hotspot, right? From your device, it will comes to the hotspot. From hotspot, it goes to your bank. If you are doing a bank transaction, so what happens? While your data is transferring from your mobile device to my hotspot, as you think that the hotspot is useful connected. So, copy of your data, I'll capture hijack, and copy of data goes to bank. The first transaction, you feel that your transaction is successful. And the next time, if you are going to do another transaction, you are unable to connect to your bank. Okay? Because I'm the middle person who can disconnect you and act as you to the bank and start doing transactions. So that we call the hijacked people. So wherever you go in coffee shop or in airport or in railway stations or any public places, if you find any free Wi-Fi's or networks, never believe that. As a network security specialist, never believe that because somebody is trying to capture your data and hijack your data. Okay, so that's the hackers can set up a rogue, that is the hotspot, free hotspot or free Wi-Fi center, and that wireless hotspot passing a genuine wireless network, and then the rogue wireless hotspots are also known as the evil twin hotspots. Okay, so this is one danger. So what I mean to say, if Sarah wants to use the Wi-Fi, suppose this Wi-Fi is a rogue Wi-Fi, and Sarah is trying to connect this Wi-Fi with her mobile phone to talk about or do some transaction, bank transaction. Okay, so the information or the account number goes via this Wi-Fi and goes to your bank. So the copy of this account number will be with the Wi-Fi, and one copy sent to bank. Bank send the transaction report back to Sarah. Okay. In the next step, in the second step, this connection will be disconnected. Only the Wi-Fi, the rogue device, can start sending the transaction 1, transaction 2, transaction 3. For that, all the transaction replies, okay, that comes to the Wi-Fi rogue only. So this situation we call the hijacked people. Now, who is hijacked in this case? Who is hijacked? This girl is hijacked by this rogue. Correct? So this is the simple way. So what is the vulnerability in this case now? In this case, what is the vulnerability case? Which the individual is the vulnerability attacker here? Is it bank or rogue or Sarah? Because the weakness of Sarah is simply believe the rogue Wi-Fi and connect. So that is that weakness captured by the rogue is the attack. Okay, this is one case of the hijacked people. So now let us see the another case. The danger is ransomed companies. Okay, so in this ransomed companies, if you see that there is one employee. Okay, so assume that we are one company, and I'm the HR person or the financial handling person of our company. You all are employed. So all our financial deals we used to do through the online transactions. Online transactions. Okay? But suddenly you get an email which is having a PDF file and saying that quarterly financial status. So you got that email from a legitimate user. I am a legitimate user, suppose. So my mail ID is rajkumar.banat.utsa.edu, right? From that mail ID, you got a mail. In that mail, one PDF file is there. That PDF file name is quarterly financial status. So generally, the employees of the company assume that something came from the HR department or from Rajkumar. You see the mail ID and my signature, and you said, yeah, this is Rajkumar from the. Then you try to open that because every employee does that maybe in quarterly financial it is increased, then maybe our salaries or some other benefits will come. So what we do? We click on it. When you click on that, automatically whatever the executable code is there, which is attached with that PDF file, will be executed on your system. Okay? But actually, the sender is not Rajkumar. The sender is a hacker. And acting as Rajkumar by using the same mail ID as Rajkumar. So you are believing. So the employee's vulnerability, the attacker is catching that. If the boss of that company sends a mail to their employer, they will definitely open that document, right? So that is the vulnerability. That vulnerability captured by the attacker. And it says, as soon as you open on your individual systems in your company, every individual, they have their own project, right? Project module. So as soon as you click on that, every employee's detail and every employee's computer will be hacked by the attacker. So now I know that employee one's system, what information is there on employee one, on which project employee one is working, what is his social security number, his information, everything. Similarly for employee 2, employee 3. like n number of employees who click that, open. So what do the attackers will gather all those information? This concept we call the ransomware. So who is attacking? Another company fellow or hacker is trying to attack a company. So that is the ransom the company. So here it says the employees of an organization are often lured into the opening attachments that install the ransomware on their employees' computers. So this ransom, when installed, that begins processing of gathering the data and encrypt. So have you ever experienced that? When some viruses are installed on your computer, some files are executed continuously, and that will make number of copies to fill your the hard disk drive, so that you don't, if your hard disk become full, you are unable to log into your operating system. So that possibilities are there. So the goal of this attacker is the financial gain of that company, because they hold the company's data for ransom until they are paid. Because they are blackmailed the company. If you pay, then we won't do anything with your data. If you don't pay, whatever demand we give, then your data will be used for gaining. Okay, so this is the another the danger when you are using the network for sending some data, sensitive data. Then the targeted nations. What happens in the targeted nations? So have you heard about some targeted nations? So some of days the malware is one of the sophisticated, expansive to create the security experts believe only a nation state or a group of nations could possibly have the influence and funding to create the nation targets. But such malwares can be targeted to attack a nation's vulnerable infrastructure. Complete nation's vulnerable infrastructure, such as your water system or power system. So this is nation building part, right? So when there one nation tries to war with another nation, then first and foremost they try to target their power system. If they collapse the power system, your entire network becomes off, right? If there is no power, will you connect to internet? For a period of time, maybe 3 hours to 4 hours, backups will be there after that. So then your entire network, become down. So that is one way of attack. During that time, so when it's down, as soon as it tries to get the information, like ransomware, once information gathered by attacker, they'll try to shut down your power system or water system for 3 hours or 4 hours. In that 3 or 4 hours, all the important information which is gathered by your attacker will be decrypted, and that data will be with the attacker. Then they can act as a legitimate user. So that's the problem. So then, this was the purpose of which this targeted nations of malware is, the purpose of your Stuxnet worms. So you might have heard about this. The purpose of your Stuxnet worms. So what they do is, which infected the USB drives. USB drives, as we just saw. Okay, we discussed about the USB drive. Somewhere it is there, so we just picked it and inserted with our system. So these drives were carried by 5 Iranian component vendors. Remember this country. These drives are the infrared and these drives were infected, these stuxnet worms were infected in this USB drive, and these drives were carried by 5 Iranian component vendors into a security facility that they supported. So then, this Stuxnet was designed to the infiltrate Windows operating systems first. Remember this, Windows operating system first, and then target, Step 7 software. Step 7 was developed by the Siemens company for their programmable logic controller, PLC we called, the programmable logic controller. Okay, so this Stuxnet was looking for a specific model of the Siemens programmable control logic that controls the centrifuge in the uniform processing facilities. So the worm was transmitted from this infected USB drive into this programmable the logic controller PLC. From USB drive to it goes to the PLC. So now PLC is operating the entire system. Okay, so this worm transmit from this PLC and eventually damage many of these the centrifuges. So that we say that you might have heard about 0 Day, if the 0 Day, a film released in 2016. Have you watched that movie, 0 Day? That released in 2016. So that documentation that documents what is known about this development and deployment of this Stuxnet. So if you find time, you please try to watch that movie, 0 Days. Okay. So I think you might have heard about that, right? 0 days. So in the 0 days, they talk about this Stuxnet worm infect. Okay. So what is the intention of this targeted nations means? They try to cut down the power and water system of the country. Is it? So then, if you talk about the danger part of your network means, first one is, if any individual is there, they will be hijacked if they are unaware of network issues. Second, any individual company can be hijacked by your ransom. Okay? So what is the concept of ransomware? The attacker acts like a legitimate user and trying to send mail to all the employees of the same company. So employees believe that this came from UTSA only and we try to open it so that our entire information will be gathered. Okay? And third one is, there is a possibility of national targets. So when one nation wants try to war with another nation, so their security and network specialists try to hijack the power system or water system of the nation. So that is the nation target system. Okay. So then I think this is some kind of danger in the network. One should understand that one. I hope it is clear. Is that concept clear? So from these case studies, you just remember few terminology. One, attacker. Another thing is vulnerability. Vulnerability means the weakness of either individual, company, or nation. Correct? Okay. So yeah, the next part is installing virtual machine, which we already done, right? So that's good. We'll move forward that. So then we talk about the threat actors. Who are the threat actors? Okay. So in threat actors, if you see, the threat actors are individuals. The threat actors, either they are individuals or group of individuals who perform cyber attacks or your network attacks. We call them threat actors. Okay, cyber attacks or network attacks. Okay, So nowadays we are using the terminology cyber attacks. In earlier days we used to use the terminology network attackers, threat actors. They may be individuals or group of people. Individuals means it may be their, the passion to try to, exploit others, the information. Group of people means they might have hired by a company or a nation to do the attack of another nation or another company. Group of individuals can be done, right? These threat actors, they include the amateurs, activists, your organized crime groups, or state-sponsored groups, or terrorist groups. So that can anything. Okay. So in this, if you see, these threat actors are more dangerous. So these threat actors are basically, classified into three different parts. Three different. We call the white hat hackers, or black hat hackers, or grey hat hackers. White, grey, and black. White hat hackers, they are not harmed. Okay, they are legitimate hackers. They, like, our UPSA hired me as a cybersecurity specialist. So UPSA gives all the privileges to me to access UPSA network. Reason is, if I access our network, I try to find is there any vulnerabilities are there, so that I can identify and inform to the UPSA that these vulnerabilities are there. Try to correct it. White hat hackers. Where grey hackers, okay, they can take the information. They are also semi-privileged hackers. They work with the organization and they keep some of the information with them, but they don't harm any network. Whereas your black hat hackers, they are unknown, they are illegitimate, they are not legitimate. They hack our network, they get complete information, and they down our network. They are black hat hackers. So here we find these groups. So these cyber attackers, the intentional malicious act mean to negatively impact another individual or the organizations. So let us see this one by one. Who is this? The amateur. So amateur means any individual. So what they do, they are also known as the script kiddles and have a little or no skill. Any individual, they don't have any skill, but while they are browsing something or watching a video or watching a movie, that tempts them and they try to do that. The same way in that video or in that document or in that movie. Okay, they are skillless because they don't know what kind of consequences comes about that. They simply try. So they are often use the existing tools or the intrusion found on the internet that will launch the attacks. Okay, so whatever the available tools are there, for suppose network scanning, there are many tools are there, like NAM tool, Wireshark tool is there, your PCAP tools are there. So they just heard something in the internet, try to install that NMAP and try to scan the the UTSA network. Scanning the network means what kind of IP addresses are there in the UTSA, which IP address belongs to which server, and they try to attack that IP address so that server will get down. But as soon as the attack comes, UTSA is having its own cyber security wing, right? They immediately cache from where this, the attacking TCP connection is established. So they will capture that. And then they will report to the police, they will get my cache. So that we call the amateurs. So even though they use the basic tools, the result can still be your devastating. So this is one kind of threat actor. Amateur means unknown. Second, hacktivist we call. So hacktivist means there are hackers who publicly protest against a variety of political and social ideas. What it means is hacktivist. That means they work for the social cause, but they give all fake messages, fake information. For example, Rajkumar is a legitimate associate professor in computer science department. If the hacktivist is working on me, it says that Rajkumar is not a legitimate associate professor of UTSA. He's just using the name and fame of the UTSA to explore himself that he's a good professor or something like that. But in reality, I'm working here, right? But they say that he's not working. It's one way of. Another way of threatening that no, Rajkumar is working with UTSA. At the same time, he's saying that he's associated with Stanford University. That means what you call the wrong messages or the fake messages are published by the hacktivists. Okay, so they feel that so these are the hackers. They publicly protest because some in that case, if you assume that some information is true and some information is false, right? So they post the articles and videos and they're leaking the sensitive information and distribute the web services with the legitimate traffic in the distributed denial of service attacks. That means they use all the media and start giving the fake information. We call hacktivists. So I hope is it clear now? Amateur and activist. Okay. Amateurs are individuals. They use already available tools to play with the network security. Hacktivist means they try to get half of the information is true or less than half of the information true. Remaining information is false, but they start projecting in a negative. So in USA we have seen the lot of during the election time, we find some lot of videos and the documents and files are posted in Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. So which one is true, which one is false? It's doubtful for any individual to judge. Correct? So those kind of things done by the hacktivists. Now the third one is financial gain. Now this is also individual. These are also individuals. Okay. Now comes to the financial gain. That means much of the hacking activist threat actors, they constantly threatens our security is motivated by financial gain. Our security is motivated by the financial gain. So what it means, much of the hacking activists, they say that these cyber criminals are financial gain threat actors. They want to gain access to our bank accounts, individuals' bank accounts, and personal data, and anything else they can leverage to generate cash flow. So they mainly focus on so if you see here, they try to get our account to get the cash flows. You call them as your financial gain. And finally, you find the trade secrets and global politics. So what they do in the past several years, so we have heard many stories about these nation states hacking other countries or otherwise interfering with the internal politics, or nation states are also interested in using cyberspace for individual or industrial espionage. So the theft of intellectual property can give a country a significant disadvantage and advantage in the international trade. So, defending against the fallout from the state-sponsored cyber, the espionage and cyber welfare and cyber warfare will continue to be a priority for cybersecurity professionals. So these trade secrets and global politics means a group of people hired specially for this, and they try to make them as act as your threat actors to attack the network of other countries. Okay, so these are four different threat actors that you can find. So then, but in this, these threat actors, how secure is the Internet of Things? Because if you see their issues, it may be amateur, or maybe the activist, maybe your what you call the uh, financial or trade gainer or financial gainer. So then, if those kind of hackers are there, threat actors are there, then how your Internet of Things are secure nowadays? Because we're going to use everything like IoT nowadays, right? So for that, you check the Internet of Things that help the individuals that connect things to improve their quality of life. How? So if you see this diagram, everything inside the home is controlled by your mobile, and that is connected to the Wi-Fi with all your the devices. Now see, you have one Wi-Fi device, and all your the house related things are connected to that device, Wi-Fi, right? If your Wi-Fi router is captured by a hacker, what happens? Your car, your house, your TV, your fridge, everything you made your house using the Internet things of connection. Means everything operated from your mobile phone. And your mobile phone and all these devices connected with the single router. If the hacker connects that router, so automatically all your devices captured. Right? Okay. So means if single router having vulnerability and attacked by either hijacker means the threat actors, then how secure your Internet of Things? So you just see many devices on the internet are not updated with the latest firmwares. So have you ever find these things? All the bugs or patches are corrected by the companies, and they try to release. It may be Microsoft, it may be your Apple OS, iOS operating system. Have you find the patches? Do you regularly find any updates? Update your software. Right? That means there are some bugs are there, some patches are missing, right? Before releasing those patches by your company for update, that period is your vulnerable period of software. During that time, the attackers can write a small script to attack the operating system. So because your router is also operated with the operating system. If that operating system is captured, that means your router is captured. When your router captured, and if your entire house is connected with that router, your complete information will be gathered. Right? So that is, some older devices were not even developed to be updated with purchase. So these two situations create opportunity for threat actors and security risk for the owners of these routes. Right? So that is whether your the Internet of Things is secure or not means you check with that. The next one is if so who are the threat actors? What are their intention? That we have seen, right? Now, what's the impact of these threat actors in the network? Okay. So their impact is the threat actor, they try to gain the information of your PII, PHI, PSI. So what are their impact means? The threat actors, they are trying to get the personally identifiable information. So for us, what is personally identifiable information? First and foremost thing is social security number, right? So threat actors, they try to get this. PII, personally identifiable information, PII. So is any information that can be used positively identify an individual to say that this is Rajkumar or this is David or this is the corner, right? Corner, right? Your good name? Kreni. Adi, okay. Friday. Yeah. So this is the first intention impact. Second impact is PHI. So that what you find, the protected health information. So as every individual, we are having our health insurances, right? They try to get that information. So the medical community that creates the and maintain the electronic medical records, EMRs we say, that contains the protected health information. So this PHC in personal IIA, in this PHI is a subset of this one, that information. Okay, and the third impact is personal security information, that is another type of your PII. So that includes your username, passwords, and other security related information. So these are the impacts. So threat actors are your amateurs, activists, or financial gainer, or the trade gainer. They try to gather this information, personally identifiable information, and your personally security information, and your PHI, your protected health information. Okay. So these are some danger issues that comes into the picture, and the threat impacts. The competitive advantage is the loss of intellectual property to the competitors in a serious concern. Another one is the additional major concern is your loss of your trust that comes when company is unable to protect the customers. And the loss of competitive advantage may come from this loss rather than the another company or country stealing one. Right? So then the threat impacts that politicals and national security, I don't want to discuss much about this one. Okay. But the threat impacts, as we know, that the activist can do for these political issues and the national issues. Okay. And then in this case, there will be visualizing a black hats. Okay. So you please go through the lab one. It was what you call the whenever you find time, you please go through that and try to execute on your own, so you can find the black hat the attackers. So as you know that what we say, the black hat attackers means white hat are legitimate attackers. We allow you to our network to find any vulnerabilities. So you try to attack, but no problem because you are a legitimate user. If you are a grey hat attacker, also means you are legitimate. You find vulnerabilities and you report to your boss. Black hat are, they are not legitimate attackers. They are threat attackers. Okay. So can you find that file in the lab files on your book? The lab name, you find the visualizing the black hat attack. Are you able to find the lab files? First one, second one. I think. Hmm. Okay. I think that file is missing. I will upload. Upload. You just do that exercise. It's no, just there is one video is there. You just go through that video and check it out. Who is white hat attackers? What is black hat attacker? Who is black hat and who is gray? That's because this terminology is very important in our future in upcoming lectures. I will upload that tonight once our classes are over. Once I finish my sessions, I will upload it. Okay. So